Hello and welcome to another Naruto CCG Deck Profile video. Today I'm going to be profiling a deck that I have been calling the I don't think these work this way deck because there are a few mechanics in this deck that I've built around specifically that I don't fundamentally believe work. I don't think that's how the rules work, and I think the rules have been changed, but I've been told otherwise from other sources, and this is how they're going to be played in this server, so I'm going to play it that way, and I'm going to abuse the hell out of it. What it should probably be called is like Turbo Cruise Control or something like that, because it is focusing on the cruise control aspect, which some of you might have heard of and some of you might not have. It was really big back in the day, but kind of died off as later sets came out. But as always, the full deck list can be found in the description down below. You can upload it to the Untap website, modify it as you so please, or just look at it and see what's going on, view all the cards in their entirety. And as always, I am following the Untap and or Great Ninja Tournaments deck list rogue list, so you can see all of the banned cards, all of the restricted cards, and I will mention them as they come up and tell you any differences that might occur between the two lists and how you can sort of change them to match each list. So without further ado, let us just get right into the deck profile. Starting off, we are running 3 Kakashi Hatake Boyhood from set 28. Its effect is valid during the attacker's mission phase, your mission phase. Move this ninja to its owner's chakra area. If your turn marker is 4 or more, you can put in play 1 Kakashi Hatake ninja card from your hand, then place a +1/+1 coin on that ninja. So essentially, you can make any Kakashi of turn 4 or higher in your hand have growth. It doesn't give it a growth coin, but it's almost exactly the same concept. What's more, this Kakashi has name Kakashi, just like the childhood version does, but it does not cost more to use Jutsus with requirements Kakashi with him. So he's just objectively better than the childhood Kakashi unless you need Sharingan Eye, which he does not have. But otherwise, he's 3-0 and 0 when injured. He has got the weapon combat attribute, does not have Genjutsu, does not have Sharingan Eye, like I just said. But he is very good. We are running a Kakashi on turn 4, so this is going to be very good for getting him out. We also do run some Jutsus that only Kakashi can use, so that'll be helpful as well. Once more, this is a water and fire deck, so having the extra fire in here is going to be helpful. Next, I run 3 Hotaru Katsuragi. Her effect is valid. When this ninja is put in play, flip a coin. If heads, draw 1 card. If tails, place a growth coin on this ninja. Just 2 objectively good effects, no matter which side of the coin you land on. She does have growth herself, so if you do draw a card with the first one, then you can growth over that first one and potentially get 2 growth coins if you do roll or flip a tails and growth after you get the growth coin. Or you could draw 2 cards after having growthed over the first one. So just one of the best turn 0 ninjas in the game, probably the best turn 0 ninja in the game, and it is water, which is one of the elements that we're looking for. 3-0 and 0 when injured, just like Kakashi, ninjutsu, combat attribute, but not really anything we're looking for. So just very good water turn 0 ninja in a water deck. Next, I run 3 Haku Childhood. His effect is valid when this ninja is discarded. Due to the showdown specifically, you can search for 1 Zabuza Momochi ninja card in your deck and put it in play. In that case, your opponent draws 2 cards. Secondly, valid, every Haku ninja card in your hand gets growth. So a very gross card to go against. This makes your opponent have to think about how they're going to be blocking or attacking, because getting a Zabuza on the field in turn 5 is disastrous for your opponent. They don't even know which Zabuza it's going to be. We're not running probably the better one, just splashable that kills standby ninjas when it wins. But we are running Zabuza as part of the main strategy, so getting one out as early as possible is incredibly good for us. This also kind of just lets your opponent, or makes your opponent sort of play badly, because they don't want to block this and kill it, so they kind of just let it go a few times, and you're probably going to score a couple battle rewards for free in that case. What you do have to be careful about is that if Haku dies outside of the showdown, so typically to a Jutsu, you do not get that effect whatsoever. It's also a little bit dangerous because if they stall out and get to like turn 2, turn 3 before you get your Zabuza down, them drawing 2 cards is probably going to be bad, and at that point your Zabuza is not so powerful that's just going to steamroll the game once they have turn 3 ninjas on the field. So not so good that I think, this card deserves to be banned or anything, but it is very good, and it's going to make your opponent think twice. Because we are running Hakus and Zabuzas, and that's kind of the main theme of the deck, we are going to run 3 of these. And last for turn 0s, I run 2 Tracking Ninjas. Tracking Ninja has no effect except it does clarify what ambush means, and ambush means that you can deploy it from the chakra area. So if you use this for hand cost on any water ninja cards or missions, you can put it in play later. You are probably thinking that this is kind of interesting because Tracking Ninja has the name Haku, which means we have 5 Hakus in our deck. You can't play this with Haku on the field. You are correct. This is a very Haku-based deck. In fact, I run 8 of them because Haku is just a keystone of this deck, and you want to see it out as soon as possible, and you've got Jutsus specifically for Haku that are going to be very powerful for you. I do run only 2 Tracking Ninjas because it does get a little clogged out if you run 3, because then, 6 of your 11 turn 0s are going to be Haku, and that's not so good. But Tracking Ninja is one of the best cards for water actually for any deck in the game because it does have 4 as its combat when healthy, still 0 when injured though. So it is the strongest a ninja can be on turn 0 with its base stats. So I do run 2 of these just as the water, as the Haku, and as the ambush. On to turn 1s, I run 3 Karin. So this is where I'm going to kind of get into the main point of the deck. Karin is not one of the cards that I don't think works as ruled, but the entire point of this deck is small damage amplifying to big damage. So Karin's effect is the first one that lets us do this. Her effect is valid. When any ninja in this ninja's team or the team opposing this ninja receives any damage, increase that damage by 1. So to sort of work off of this effect, we do have many Jutsus that are going to deal 1 damage for low chakra costs, because the theory is that you have Karin on your side of the field, you have Tracking Ninja down, you attack, they block, they can beat you, but you play a Jutsu for 1 chakra that does 1 damage. Well, Karin's turning that into 2 damage. Now you've just killed a ninja for 1 chakra. Your opponent didn't even know you could do that because you only had 1 chakra, and typically that's not possible. And now you've got a huge leg up. So I do run 3 of the Karins because she's the earliest way we can do this. She's also just pretty good. She has 2 support when in the back healthy, and 1 and 1 when injured. She does have Rogue Ninja, which could help if you modify the deck slightly. She does have Medicine if that comes in handy. But overall, you just want to see her early, so I do run 3 of them to kind of maximize your chances of seeing her. Last for turn 1s, I run 2 Sasuke Uchiha Beyond the Limits. This is the Chidori Sasuke, as it's called, because his effect is this ninja can use the Chidori Jutsu card without paying its Jutsu cost. So as per the rule that changed in set 19, you're going to be hearing about set 19 quite a bit in this video, the mechanics for how many times an effect can be used in a turn have changed. So you might have heard this in other videos, but a can effect, meaning this ninja can, right there, it can only be used once per turn. So Chidori Jutsus used by this card can be free once per turn. There are other cards that have may effects. If Sasuke said this ninja may use the Chidori Jutsu card without paying its Jutsu cost, then you could use it multiple times, and this guy could just swing out with, as many Chidoris as you wanted for free. But as it stands right now, it's being ruled this does only work once per turn, which is fine. We're only running 2 of them because we do have another Sasuke later. But Chidori is one of the jutsus that we're going to be using with Sasuke, with Kakashi, and that deals 1 damage to a lot of people. So as many of these as you can. You could even bump this up to 3 if you really wanted to. On to turn 2s, I run 2 Kigiri. He is a water ninja with ambush, so you can use him for costs again. His effect is, during your mission phase, you can select one of your opponent's ninjas or clients. In that case, the effect text of the selected ninja or client are negated during this turn. Negation is just a very good tool in any deck's arsenal. A lot of the game is based around what your ninjas can do. So, for example, if Sasuke was negated, I can't use Chidori for free anymore, and that sucks. That means I'm going to have to pay like 3 more chakra than I was planning to. Interestingly, he also negates clients. This could come in effect when you have like an Amy being put in play. You could probably chain him to stop the Amy from working. You could also use it on Futaba for draws. You could use it on what's his name? Koji, I think, for growth-based decks that lets you draw when you growth a ninja. I think that's his name, Koji. But just a very good card all around. He does have 3-2 when healthy and 1-1 when injured, so he can be thrown in the back. He can lead a team if he is, out with Karin or something like that. Does have ambush, like I talked about, and he has some pretty decent stats for turn 2. So I do run 2 of these just because it's very good to flex into any water deck. And last for turn 2, I run 1 Yoroi Akado. This is limited to 1 on both of the lists, so you can only run 1 of them. And his effect is, when this ninja is sent out to attack specifically, select one of your opponent's ninjas. In that case, during this turn and the next turn, when that ninja is sent out to battle, you can discard up to 2 of their chakras. So this is an incredible effect because it prevents your opponent from using jutsus, obviously. But it's also not very easy to get around because, 1, it lasts for 2 turns. So it's not even like he has to keep putting himself into danger to, put this effect on somebody. And 2, the effect is not on the ninja itself, or specifically, I guess I should say, Yoroi is not the one affecting the ninja. So if your opponent has like Konohamaru Ninja Squad that protects other ninjas from opponent's effects, Yoroi is not doing anything to the ninja, so KNS does not protect against him. It's sort of just a nebulous effect of the game at that point. So pretty much this prevents your opponent from going out to fight. This prevents your opponent from using jutsus if they do go out to fight. And because you're a very jutsu-heavy deck, preventing that is very good. He has almost identical stats to Kigiri. He has 3-2 when healthy and 0-1 when injured. No ambush, unfortunately. That would just push him over the edge. But he is just very powerful, so you want to run him in most water decks. Next, for turn 3, I run 3 Haku Camouflage. So this is the main crux of the deck, and we are going to be looking at the next 3 cards altogether because this is the main strategy. Cruz Control, as it was dubbed in like 2005 or something, whenever this was actually happened, not 2005, that was way too early, but whenever Cruz Control happened, this was one of the main cards of the deck along with the Puppet Sakura. Because Haku's effect is, during the mission phase or the exchange of jutsu, you can injure another ninja in this ninja's team. In that case, that ninja cannot be target of your opponent's jutsu cards during this turn, and then heal this injured ninja at the end of the turn. So pretty basic effect, injure and protect yourself from jutsus. But this combos very well with the next 2 cards that I'll just pull up right now. The first one being Kakashi Hatake Sharingan Copy. This is the Kakashi that you can growth into on your turn 4, as I was talking about earlier. His effect is valid when this ninja is injured due to an effect. Give 1 damage to one of your opponent's ninjas. So the crux of Cruz Control is that Haku will injure Kakashi. Kakashi will then have his effect activate by being injured, and then you can just throw a damage on somebody. Very simple, very easy to pull off, and devastating for your opponent because you just get to deal a single damage pretty much immediately and for no cost, really, because Kakashi is going to be healed at the end of the turn. What's more, Kakashi cannot be affected or targeted by jutsus at that point because Haku is preventing it. So what is the issue with this? Well, from what I understand, and I was not there, they did not consult me. From what I understand, in set 19, when the rules changed, the mechanics for cost changed. Cost being the things that need to happen in order for something else to happen. So for example, if you have a card that says, flip a coin, in that case, draw 1 card if you get heads or something. The cost is you flipping the coin. Cost being the thing that needs to be paid in order for the next thing to happen. If the cost is not paid, that thing does not happen, period. In set 19, from what I understand, the cost mechanics were put in place and changed, meaning that Haku's injury is not part of Haku's effect. Yes, it is part of the effect text of the card, but the cost of Haku is to injure, not the effect of Haku. So, from what I understand, the set 19 rules changed, and I believe this is in response to this combination. Cruz Control happening before set 19 meant that this rule was put into effect. Again, from what I understand, I was not there. So, as far as I believe, this combo should not work because Kakashi is not being injured due to an effect. He is being injured due to a cost of an effect, which is different. As it stands, as I said in the very beginning of this video, the Great Ninja Tournaments server is playing it that it does count as being injured by an effect because that is how the judge that we consult has ruled it. So, free game. Good for us because now we can run this busted crap once again. Cruz Control was very good in its day, and it's still pretty good to this day as well. So sticking with Haku here, it does have Rogue Ninja, which could be important, and it is obviously a Haku, the 8th of our deck so far, which you might think is a lot, but honestly, it's not that bad because you're not going to see all of them. Plus, our childhood does get growth, so you're not going to be stuck with it if you have this one in your hand. So he has 4-3 when healthy, 1-1 when injured. And then Kakashi has Jonin, which could come in handy. Has the name Kakashi, obviously. And has 5-3 when healthy and 3-2 when injured. And is a turn 4 ninja. We only have the one turn 3 with Haku and then go straight into turn 4s with Kakashi. So those are very good. Both water, both fire for our costs. But there's more. They synergize very well with Zabuza Momochi, Demon of the Cloud Village. His effect is, while this ninja is the head ninja, discard all ninjas that receive damage from this ninja's team. So, you might already see where this is going. If Zabuza is the head ninja, then you have your Kakashi and your Haku in the back. You use Haku to injure Kakashi. Kakashi gets injured and deals 1 damage because he's been injured by Haku. Haku then heals Kakashi at the end of the turn, so it's not that big a deal. But because Kakashi's in this team with Zabuza, and Zabuza's the head ninja, you discard the ninja that received the damage from his team, being Kakashi. So essentially for free, because Haku then heals Kakashi at the end of the turn, you just kill a ninja every single turn, as long as you've got these 3 together. Pretty strong, I'd say. Zabuza obviously is easy to find. We have our Hakus. We're going to run 3 of these Zabuzas, and Zabuza is a turn 5 ninja with 1 hand cost, our first hand cost of the deck. So obviously we've got a lot of water and some ambushes to cover that. But Zabuza is also 6-2 when healthy, 4-1 when injured, very strong, and Rogue Ninja as well as Jonin. So this is the main combo of the deck. I believe they function as one core part of the rules that I don't believe work, but are ruled to work that way. So good for us. So once again, we run 3 Hakus. We run 3 Kakashis. And we run 3 Zabuzas. That is going to make up our trio of 9 ninjas that are essential for this deck. For the last ninja we run, also turn 5, our last Sasuke Uchiha, Eyes of the Serpent. Essentially, it's going to be another Zabuza because its effect is valid when your opponent's ninjas receive damage or are injured. Move them to their owner's chakra area instead. So if you don't have your Zabuza down, using your Cruz Control combo with Haku and Kakashi means that every damage you deal is going to be putting them in the chakra instead. Sasuke has a slight, I don't think this works this way, mechanic that has come up recently in the server, where it was ruled that Sasuke is not affecting the game state. Sasuke is affecting the ninjas themselves, which I understand does sound intuitive, like, Sasuke is sending them to chakra. That makes sense. But the way it's written, Sasuke is not affecting the ninjas themselves. Sasuke is affecting whatever source the damage is coming from. If that is from the showdown, then he's affecting the rules of the game, essentially. If it's coming from a jutsu, he's affecting the jutsu. Because he has a replacement effect because of the word instead, meaning that he is basically changing the effect to say this instead of whatever it does say. So, for example, if you have a jutsu that says deal 1 damage to an opposing ninja, theoretically, Sasuke is changing that jutsu to say send 1 opposing ninja to the chakra area. He's changing the rules of the book for showdowns to say when an opponent's team loses by less than 5, you move the head ninja to the chakra area. When you lose by more than 5, you move the head ninja to the chakra area and then move the 2 back ninjas to the chakra area. It gets a little muddy. Essentially, Sasuke has been ruled to not work against opposing ninjas that are unaffected by ninja effects. So like if your opponent has KNS and you damage a Naruto in that team, Sasuke cannot move him to the chakra. I don't believe that's the way that works. Even the judge who said this says that probably shouldn't work that way, but that's how they ruled it. So that's how we have to play it. That's how they ruled it. But Sasuke also has Rogue Ninja. He's water. He has ambush as well, so you can use him from the chakra. He does have a 1 hand cost, so you've got the ambushes to use. 7-3 when healthy, 3-0 when injured. Obviously, he is also a Sasuke, so we can use Chidori. So we do run 1 of him, meaning that we can only run 2 of our free Dori Sasukes. On to Jutsus, I run 3 Backstab. This is the Jutsu I was referencing before. It costs 1 Fire Chakra, and it itself is a Fire Jutsu, and the target is 1 ninja opposing the user. The effect is if the target has the lowest entrance cost in its team, give 1 damage to it, otherwise injure the target. So like I was talking about before with our Karins, if you use Backstab while Karin is in your team, then that becomes a kill Jutsu for 1 Chakra. Very strong. If you use Backstab while Sasuke is down on the field at all, they're going to go to Chakra instead of taking that damage. Essentially, they are dead. Very strong. What I think is ridiculous and is the main, I guess, secondary gripe that I have with these rules is that Zabuza has also been ruled that jutsus used by his team count for his effect. So, for example, I guess even if Zabuza himself is the only ninja in his team, because he's the head ninja when he's the only one there, if he uses Backstab, that opposing ninja will be discarded because they took 1 damage from Zabuza's team. Once again, I do understand how this is intuitive. If I'm fighting you and I throw a knife into your chest, I killed you. The knife didn't kill you, I did it. I get that. But this is a card game. Zabuza is only discarding ninjas that are receiving damage from this ninja's team. Backstab is not in Zabuza's team. Ninjas are in Zabuza's team. So how is that ninja dealing that damage? It's not. The jutsu is dealing the damage. And I feel like that is obvious. But because this Zabuza is so old, I believe it might actually be set 1. It is incredibly old to the point that it was ruled all jutsus used by teammates of Zabuza's proc Zabuza's effect, which I think is flat out wrong. I don't believe that is true by any reading of the rules possible. I do believe that they ruled it that way. I just think that they were wrong to do that. But once again, good for us. We can make this busted combo happen. So, as it stands, Backstab, kill Jutsu while Zabuza's in the field, kill Jutsu while Sasuke is on the field, kill Jutsu while Karin's on the field. So, we're going to run 3 of them. And let me just organize back up here. Next, I run 3 Crystal Ice Mirror. It is a water jutsu with 2 water chakra. The requirements are Haku, and the target is every ninja battling against the user with an entrance cost of 3 or less. Give 1 damage to the target. Once again, this is the main reason that we're running the Hakus here. We have 8 Hakus because Crystal Ice Mirrors while Karin's in the team, while Sasuke's on the field, while Zabuza's the head ninja, etc. This is a entire team wipe. It's dealing 1 damage to every member of the opposing team, which means every member of the opposing team is going to either die or go to chakra or take 2 damage. So this is just a team wipe essentially. meaning that you want to see this all the time. You can do this as early as turn 1 if you roll any of your Hakus on turn 0, so your 3 childhoods or your 2 tracking ninjas, and you get your Karin on turn 1 with your Crystal Ice Mirrors. It's not super likely to happen, but it can. You have the potential to kill an entire team with 2 chakra, which is unheard of. That's not possible in any other instance. So I do run 3 of these to maximize that potential. Next, I run 3 Chidori. The requirement is Kakashi Hatake or Sasuke Uchiha. So our Kakashi Boyhoods can use it, our Freedori Sasukes can use it, our Kakashi Sharingan copies can use it, and our Sasuke Eyes of the Serpent can use it. Costs 1 fire chakra and 2 colorless chakra, so the costs are not that bad. You're gonna have at least 1 fire in your chakra pretty reasonably, so that's not too specific. Target is every ninja battling against the user, and the effect is give 1 damage to the target. Additionally, the target becomes a standby ninja. So this jutsu is incredible by itself. Using this for free basically means you get a free Fear by Genjutsu every single time you use it. But in this deck, it doesn't even matter if they're made to standby because, like everything else, we are basing this on the Cruz Control aspect here with Zabuza, Sasuke, Karin. So if any of our 3 guys and gals are on the field, you're going to kill an entire team because the entire team is going to take 1 damage, just like with Crystal Ice Mirrors. Even if somehow you don't have any ability to amp your damage like we've been working towards, Sasuke can use this for free, deal a damage to everyone, and essentially that team is worthless at that point because you've got 3 injured ninjas when you had 3 healthy ninjas. Same deal with our Boyhood with our Kakashi. So we have like 9 different options for using this, which is pretty good. More than you're going to have in most decks. So I do run 3 of these to maximize that. And then next I run 1 Fear by Genjutsu. The best jutsu in the game in my opinion. Costs 3 colorless chakra, so it doesn't matter what you've got in there. Target is every ninja battling against the user. Effect, the target becomes a standby ninja. Additionally, if the user has a Genjutsu combat attribute, give 1 damage to the target. So kind of the reverse. Anyone can use this if you really need to just push some away to, win a last battle reward, to not lose a fight, something like that. But if you have your Kakashi down or you have your Sasuke down, Eyes of the Serpent specifically, they both do have Genjutsu. So this does deal 1 damage to all of them after they're made standby, which, broken record, is going to proc most of our effects. Interestingly, it does not work with Karin because at the point they're taking the damage, they are not opposing the user or in the opposing team. So Karin does not work with the damage from this, but Zabuza does and Sasuke does. So still a lot of targets for this. And obviously it's just an incredible jutsu on its own. It is limited to 1 on both of the lists, and I run it in a lot of decks. I do think it's the best jutsu, hands down. And our last jutsu is Water Style Water Dragon Jutsu. Helpful for both of our elements. It's fire and water, and it costs either 1 fire or 1 water and X colorless chakra, so you can mix and match however you want, get rid of things that you don't think you'll be using in the near future. Requirement is Jonin plus an entrance cost, printed entrance cost of 4 or more, so our Kakashis and our Zabuzas can both use it. Target is X number of your opponent's ninjas, and the effect is give 1 damage to the target. I don't think I need to talk about how incredibly broken this is with the rules as they've been ruled. Sasuke means that you can pay 5 chakra to kill 5 ninjas. Zabuza means you can pay 5 chakra to kill 5 ninjas. Karin, once again, it's a little niche because they do have to be opposing. They can't be anywhere on the field, and Water Dragon does target anywhere on the field. But you could pay 3 chakra to kill 3 ninjas, and, if you paid 10, you could kill the 3 ninjas opposing you and then injure 7 others, and obviously, that's only if Karin's on the field. But limited to 1, we would run 3 of these if we could, because it's the potential to kill every ninja your opponent has for 1 chakra each, that's stupid. That's not how that should work at all. Not even discounting that that's not how the rules work. This card is the card dealing the damage, not any ninja in the team. But the potential for this is incredible. So you do run 1. It kind of just fits in perfectly. On to missions. I run 2 just like Drifting Clouds. It is a fire mission with 1 turn cost and 1 hand cost. Is a permanent mission with 2 turns, so you're going to remove your coin on the start of your turn, so you can use this twice, essentially. Its effect is, during your mission phase, you can exchange all the cards in your hand with the same amount of cards from the top of your deck. In that case, shuffle your deck and draw 1 card. One of the best fire missions in general. I do get asked a lot, kind of by the same person each time, why I only run 2 of these typically. I love this mission. It's incredibly good for finding things in your deck that you really need. What I think it's bad at is being used more than once. The benefit of this is that you can search very easily. The downside is that you have to give up everything you already have. I tend to use this one time, shuffle twice, and then stick with that hand, or even after the first time, stick with that. Or maybe, play something from that first hand and then get rid of the rest of it for the second time. I very, very, very rarely see myself using 2 of these, because by the time I've shuffled through, probably 12-ish cards plus draws, so like 15 cards in my deck, I probably have the thing I'm looking for, and I don't want to do it again. Also for late game, you've got the ninjas that you've been holding on to for 3 or 4 turns, waiting for turn 6 to come around. You've got the jutsus that you've been holding, waiting for your opponent to commit or waiting for you to get a setup that's good or something. I don't find myself eager to throw away my entire hand beyond like turn 2 or 3, especially if I've already done that twice. So I don't really find the need to run 3 of these. I would run 3 if I needed to see this early and just, toss away the other ones. But as it stands, just for a draw mission that lets you see more, I really only think 2 is necessary for what I'm doing. I definitely would recommend running 3 if you just prefer to run 3. It's not like it's a bad thing. Next, for turn 1s, I have 2 Makeout Tactics. It is a turn 1 mission with 1 hand cost and the water and fire attribute, so it's good for both of our elements. It is a search mission. Its effect is search your deck for 1 ninja or client card with an entrance cost less than the number of cards in your chakra area, reveal it, and place it in your hand, then shuffle your deck. So there are 2 keywords on here that are sort of interesting. The first is that you can search for a client. This is one of the only cards, or I guess one of the best cards in the game that can search for clients. There's not a lot of client search in this game. Typically, a Cruz Control deck will run Futaba that lets you draw when you heal a ninja, because Haku is going to be healing a ninja pretty much every turn. But I don't run any Futabas in my testing. I found it was too clunky because without the Haku, you don't really get any use out of it. It doesn't even match either of your elements, so it wasn't really helpful in this deck at all. So I did cut it eventually, but still, if you want to have that option, you can. This is a very good card for it. Secondly, it's counting the number of cards in your chakra area, not the amount of chakra you have. So if you're trying to cheese this by having one of those clients or like Ink Mouse or something that kind of inflates your chakra artificially by counting each card as more than 1, doesn't work. It's counting the number of physical actual cards, not the number of chakra. So one of the best search missions in the entire game on both of our elements, so even better. I did toy around originally with having a different mission in place of this, so I'll show this at the end, but for now I do run 2 Makeout Tactics for sure. On to turn 2 missions, I run 3 Friendship from Sorrow. I think 3 friendships in any water deck is almost mandatory. It's so important. Its effect is look at the top 3 cards of your deck, move 1 to your hand, 1 to your chakra area, and 1 to your discard pile. During your mission phase, if this card is in your chakra area, you can remove this card and another card in your chakra area from the game. In that case, discard 1 in-play non-ninja card. So first of all, the effect of looking at the top 3 and picking one of them to keep, one of them to chakra, and one of them to discard, still pretty good. We have a decent amount of ambush. There's about 3 or 4 cards. So sending 1 to chakra, not going to be a big deal. Even if it's not ambush, all of our cards are on elements, so we're going to be using it for chakra anyway. Filtering out the 1 card to the discard is also pretty good. Best case scenario, it's something you absolutely don't want, like another Haku Childhood if you're already like past turn 4 or something. Maybe it's a I don't know, second Haku, second like Kakashi Boyhood, whatever it is, you don't want it. Best case scenario. Worst case scenario, it is something you really need, but you just throw it to discard. It's not the end of the world. It's only 1 card and you're going to be filtering anyway, so you'll probably draw into something else you do need later. But the main effect is this one in the chakra area. The best cards in the game are ones that do not let you play, and those are typically cards that attach to your ninjas that negate or change their effects. So dehydration, comparative strengths, stuff like that. There are also a couple missions that you don't want on the field, like World of Fire for mill decks is really good to get rid of. Clients could be good because it can just be a non-ninja card. It doesn't matter if it's, a person. But there are clients to get rid of, like Futaba if you're in a mirror match or something like that. So getting rid of non-ninjas is incredibly good because it can remove your opponent's ability to stop you from playing, and stopping you from playing is one of the easiest ways to win the game, essentially. Comparative strength for 2 turns, you just don't have an effect, and, that's a bunch of turns that you're not going to be able to really play as you want to. So 3 of these is definitely key. You can run fewer. I just think this mission is so good that you shouldn't really. On to turn 3, I run 1 Invasion of Akatsuki, also on element for both with water and fire, and no hand cost, which is very interesting. It is a permanent mission, so it'll stay on the field forever. The effect is when this mission card's effect is applied, search your deck for 1 rogue ninja card and move it to your chakra area. So we have a lot of rogue ninjas, our Hakus, our Zabuzas, our later turn Sasukes. And all of them are going to want to have ambush because, like, if we have Friendship from Sorrow, put them into the chakra area. If we have any hand costs, move them to the chakra area, stuff like that. It's going to be very helpful to get them back. More importantly, though, it's just a search because the second effect is Akatsuki and Rogue Ninja cards in your chakra area get ambush. So like I just said, good to put them in there. It's essentially just moving it to your hand because you can move a Haku to your chakra area and then immediately ambush it from chakra while this is on the field. So basically, it's just a search that you can immediately use to put in play a ninja, as long as it's Rogue Ninja. So very good on element. This is limited to 1 because it is that strong. So I do run it at 1 in pretty much every situation I need a Rogue Ninja. And lastly, I run 2 Shadow of the Leaf. This is a counter mission, which means you play it on your opponent's turn during their mission phase. It's a turn 3 mission with 1 hand cost, and it's a fire mission, so only fire chakra can pay for it. The target is 1 mission, and the effect is negate and discard the target. In that case, if you control Sasuke Uchiha with an entrance cost of 4 or more, injure up to 2 of your opponent's ninjas. I couldn't resist putting this in. I don't run a lot of mission negate in my decks typically. I tend to run more of the ability to make my own deck better rather than making my opponent's deck worse. So to that end, I typically will only run missions that draw me cards. But this is a very rare opportunity with this deck because Shadow of the Leaf injures 2 of your opponent's ninjas if you have Sasuke on the field, and our Sasuke of turn 4 or more discards ninjas if they are injured. So absolutely best case scenario, you play this while you have Sasuke down, you stop one of their missions from happening, you potentially waste one of their costs, like if they have a hand cost they have to pay for it, that's still going to be paid. If they have a different cost to pay before the effect fully resolves, that'll still be gone. And then you kill 2 of their ninjas by sending them to chakra. Incredible value, cannot be understated. And typically Sasuke's with Eyes of the Serpent are not going to be in fire decks to have the hand cost for this. So I've thought once in a lifetime opportunity, I'm going to put these in here, possibly get off like one of those combos every, 15 games. But it's very good. Even without the combo, just stopping your opponent from using a mission is often pretty good. If they're playing a draw mission because they don't have anything in hand, you're going to stop them for another turn and they're not going to get that mission back. So incredible use, incredible combo. I do like to have it at 2. So that is the deck. I do have a bit of a side deck here that I will show, and then I'll get into some of the other options I was talking about. First is I run 3 Danzo. He is turn 4 with 1 hand cost and a fire ninja, and you must sacrifice 1 Sharingan Eye ninja to put him in play. So our Kakashi's our Sasuke. I guess you could use turn 1 Sasuke. I've never really considered doing that low, but sure. And valid effect, when this ninja is put in play, place X growth coins on this ninja, where X equals the sacrificed ninja's entrance cost, and this ninja gets the sacrificed ninja's characteristics. So basically, Not the best ninja. He's just going to be a fat, beefy ninja. If you sacrifice Kakashi, he's going to be 8-7, which is incredibly strong, but he's not really going to have an effector to do anything with it. The main use for this is if you have anything bad going on with your ninjas. If your Kakashi is comparative strengths or something and you just don't want it to sit there useless for a couple turns, you can Danzo, get rid of it. Danzo gets pretty strong, and then potentially play another Kakashi on top and not have to worry about it. So that's the main reason for the Danzos. Next, I run one Sasuke and Kakashi squad. You would want this at 3, but this card is stupid expensive, so I'm never going to have 3 of them, and I don't really play in tournaments, so, casually having one is fine. Effect is valid when this ninja is put in play. Distribute 3 -1/-1 coins and up to 3 target ninjas. Pretty good just for making teams more bearable to fight. But then valid, your opponent's ninjas with -1/-1 coins on them cannot be the users of Jutsu cards. So essentially you're just turning off Jutsus for 3 ninjas. Throw these on a Naruto, throw them on another Sasuke, a Kakashi, an Itachi or something. Somebody is going to be the main user of really nasty Jutsus, and they just can't use them anymore. So, simple as that. And last I run would be 3 if I own 3, but I only own 2. Sasuke Uchiha, State 2. You sacrifice a Sasuke with an entrance cost of 4 or more. We only have the one target, unless we're using a squad. It's our Sasuke Eyes of the Serpent. And his effect is when this ninja uses a water jutsu, discard 2 of your opponent's chakra. And when this ninja uses a fire jutsu, give 1 damage to target opposing ninja. So, sort of similar. He's just going to be beefier, and you can sacrifice your Sasuke if something's wrong with him, sort of like the Danzos. But in the same vein, if he uses a backstab, you're going to be dealing 2 damage instead of the 1, so you can kill a ninja, sort of similar to how the original Sasuke works, plus your combos here with the Karins and the Zabuzas and stuff. So he's kind of a one-man combo if you use any fire jutsus. Plus he has mastery, so you can just play your 1 backstab, kill a ninja, pay 1 more chakra of fire to put it back in your hand, use it again next turn, or even the same turn to kill another ninja. So he's very strong, but kind of just a late game cleaner, kind of a last ditch effort to, kill some ninjas. And lastly, just because I was already talking about it before, strategy meeting is the mission that I was considering before Makeout Tactics. Strategy meeting says search your deck for 1 Jonin ninja card, reveal it and place it in your hand, then shuffle your deck. In that case, your opponent gets 2 battle rewards. I was playing 2 of these over Makeout Tactics because I figured I don't get a lot of chakra in this deck because that's not really necessary for the jutsus that we run. So having it free and not having to rely on having the chakra to count for our Makeout Tactics means that you could find your Zabuza or your Kakashi essentially for free. You have to pay 2 battle rewards, but that's fine. You're not really restricted in when you can play this. I ended up cutting it because I did want the water chakra from Makeout Tactics, and I figured Zabuza is searchable enough with our Haku that, if it's so deep in the deck that we don't have Haku and we don't have Zabuza, it's fine. We're not going to find it anyway. The search method doesn't really matter. And the Kakashi, it's turn 4, so worst case scenario, you have 5 chakra. 5 isn't a whole lot, kind of for the same reason I didn't want to run this in the first place. We're going to have chakra because we don't use a lot of it. So it's kind of, other side of the coin there. But strategy meeting is also an affordable option if you don't want to buy the Makeout Tactics. But generally, that is the deck. So let me know down in the comments if you want to try it, if you have tried it, if you played Cruz Control back in the day, and most importantly, I think, if you understand what I'm talking about with these rules that I disagree with, if you agree or disagree with my disagreement of those rules, let me know. If you didn't really understand what I was talking about, especially with the Zabuza and, what card is doing the damage as opposed to who counts for Zabuza, let me know in the comments and I will kind of clarify. It's kind of a weird subject. You kind of have to understand the deep lore of card games like that, and it is very weird and unintuitive. So let me know, and please like and subscribe if you like these sorts of videos. I've been slowing down recently because I have a finite number of decks, but the more pressing issue is that I'm testing a lot of decks. I've got like 6 more decks that I've been working on, and they're just not ready to present yet. I haven't built. They're a couple steps away from being ready, but I do have those coming. I also think I might start making Riftbound content because I started getting into that, and I've got a couple decks. I'm a big League of Legends guy, so I know all about that, and that is a pretty fun time. So like and subscribe if you want to see any of those, or if you want to see more deck building profile content and any other content that I might have coming out in the future. Bye.